Let's be real. Most authors fail on Amazon KDP not because their books are bad, but actually because their listings are. So in this video, I'm going to show you the biggest listing mistakes that destroy your visibility and what you can do differently to actually get ranked, clicked on, and sell your books. I'm going to look at real listings from our KDP community so you can see exactly what to fix and how to start turning things around. All right, so let's get right into this video. And just quickly, in case you're new to this channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different KDP accounts. And we have a free authors Facebook group with over 230,000 authors in it. And then with our self-publishing Titans tools, we have helped over 300,000 authors publish their books on Amazon. So that's just a quick thing about us, and let's get right into the first book here. So here we have a book that was published in October, and it is already getting some sales, but this author wanted to know what else could be improved. So we'll find any missed opportunities or mistakes that can be corrected just to boost the sales even more. And the very first thing I'm noticing here is that this is a Kindle version, which is great. And it's great that we're also taking advantage of the Kindle Unlimited program. But the first big missed opportunity here is that this is only a Kindle book. So since this is a high content book with 500 pages, this would be perfect also as an audiobook, either narrated by yourself or by somebody that could be hired on Fiverr, and then also having it as a paperback edition. So this would also really help. And the reason it is good to have different book formatting types, because each book format counts as its own product on Amazon. And each of them can rank individually for different keywords or the same keywords, but each of them has a chance to get ranked on Amazon. So if you have 3 listings, you just have 3 times the potential of making sales and money. So that's definitely one thing I would add moving forward. So next, let's look at the title here. So the title says Soothe, and then we have the colons here. I don't know why we have that twice. So that is a little mistake that can be fixed. You can, since this is a Kindle book, you can fix that mistake yourself. But if this was a paperback version, you can also contact Amazon KDP directly through the support system and ask them to correct the mistake. But fixing that will also obviously just look more professional and help you in the long run. And then the subtitle says True Stories of Healing from Anxiety, Depression, PTSD, and General Trauma through Spiritual Awakening, Healing Forward, Book Series 1. So overall, the title is fine, but it's starting to get slightly too long. And what I would do is remove this last part of the subtitle. One, because a title ideally is never longer than 2 lines, but also since this is a series and this is book 1, you can also list that as a series and Amazon will show it right about here and say that this is book 1 and then the name of the series. So there's no need to have that in the title itself. Amazon would very clearly display that, and it would be a clickable link where people can click on this series and see all the books in it. So that's the next thing I would fix here. Now next, let's look at the cover here. So the cover looks really interesting. I like the triangles here. That looks really great. And I like the overall design here with the person and the kind of energy flow here. And otherwise, I think this is okay. The only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is having different fonts here. So I would see if you can kind of fix that. And also here, it looks like we have a black shadow outline, and then here we have a white shadow outline. So it's just not as consistent as it could be or should be. So that's one thing I'd also try and change and fix. So now let's look at the description here. So it looks like we have a really long description, which is fantastic. And you have a slight call to action here, which is great, but you could also strengthen that by saying at the end to buy the book now. And the only thing I really see missing here is some bullet points. It's nice to have a nice detailed description, but I would also add some bullet points just to complete this description. That would be my other tip here for improving that. Moving along, I don't see any A+ content, so that's also a missed opportunity that we can easily fix. So in the A+ content, you could have a picture of yourself holding the book. You could have some quotes from the book. You can have some other lifestyle images or some really brief text, just more details about the book. And that will just only help you get even more sales and better conversion rates. Now next, let's look at your categories. Those are really important because Amazon uses them for the search algorithm. So you want to make sure that they're relevant and that they make sense. Otherwise, this can be bad. So it says stress management, so that seems good. New age mental and spiritual healing also seems fine, and post-traumatic stress. So it seems like you did your research and picked good categories, so well done. And you also have 9 reviews and 4.8 star average, so that's great that you have reviews. And this is definitely plenty to get started. And as you get more sales, those would obviously naturally increase. And in here you have a picture of yourself, which is good. Quality seems good enough. And then you have a short description, which is great. So overall, otherwise you're doing great. This would be my feedback for you, just to further increase your conversion rate, click-through rate, and organic rankings. And let's go into the next one. So this one here has never gotten a single sale. So a bit of the opposite. So let's figure out all the biggest mistakes of what stopped this book from getting sales and ranking on Amazon. So let's take a look here. So the first thing I quickly noticed here already is that the hardcover here is $30 and the paperback is $15. And for an activity book, that is kind of pricey. So that would be the first reason I would say that this book is not getting any sales. And you also have to think about that when a person is browsing on Amazon, the first thing they see is the book cover. They see the book title, they see the price of the book, and then the reviews or rating numbers. So if the price is too high for someone's budget or someone's interest, then they won't even click on your listing. And obviously if they don't click on your listing, you won't get a sale. So you definitely want to have a price that's just right, that invites people to take a look more. So it's kind of part of the puzzle that you want to optimize. So next, let's look at the title. So it says AI Fundamentals Activity Book for Kids. So that's okay. But I'm also wondering, like, at what age do kids want to read a book about AI instead of just watching a YouTube video or just trying to figure out themselves just using a phone? So the target audience might not be the best thing. And maybe AI books would be better for adults, maybe for older adults or people that are not really tech savvy, not good with the cell phones, not good with the computers or apps. I think that would be a more suitable audience. And then the other thing is AI is changing at such a fast pace that you also have to be really careful of what kind of data you put in your book, because you have to make sure that this stays relevant. Otherwise, you have to unpublish it and update the book. So that's just another thought I have here. But let's just look at the Self-Publishing Titans Chrome extension to see if this is even searched for. So AI for beginners, that's a good keyword. We can see it has an estimated monthly search volume of 22,000, only 8,000 competitors. It has a domain score of 7 and a opportunity score of 8. AI for kids is also here, which is interesting. So that looks good. AI for kids workbook, that's also interesting. So maybe a workbook would be more suitable for kids, but you just want to make sure that you always use exact match keywords from the Amazon search suggestions. And the Chrome extension we're using is the Self-Publishing Titans one, which you can find in the Google Chrome store. There's also a link down below in this video, but it'll be this extension right here. This is the brand new one, which replaces these 2 prior ones. So that's what we're using here to find these keywords. But if you just invent your own keywords that people are not searching for, then that's also a huge reason of why you're not getting sales. So for activity books or these kinds of books, we always want to use exact match keywords from Amazon, and then we'll have much better results. Now, the other thing here that I noticed is that you stopped capitalizing some of these words. So workbook, focused, learning and understanding is lowercase, but then for some reason, artificial intelligence, you capitalized, and then you stopped capitalizing the rest of the words, but then you did it all correctly in your title. So that's also just not professional, not consistent. And when it comes to educational activity books, your title is the first thing that speaks quality and trustworthiness, then that already would also cause less click-through rates and less purchases. But let's also just read the subtitle to see any other missed opportunities or mistakes here. So it says a workbook focused on learning and understanding artificial intelligence basics with tools and teaching technology to kids. So overall, that's okay. But once again, the title is also too long. So I would also never have it longer than 3 lines. And then the next thing I would question is what kind of tools you would have inside of a book. So that's also a little bit questionable. Moving along here, we can look at the cover. So the image looks fine. Obviously AI generated, AI fundamental activity books, that's okay. It's a bit unusual to have the author name at the top, especially if you're not famous, because that's not as important as the text here. So I would probably move that just down below here, and it could just be in small white text. It's not really important. And then I would move the rest up, and then I think that would look nicer. And then here on your back covers, since this is an activity book, you also want to display the activities and the interior pages. There's some examples of what this book is about. And doing that is really good for low content books and medium content books like this. And it will just help you get a higher conversion rate and more sales. So definitely make sure to update that. Moving along to the description here, it looks like the bullet points are cut off by the read more button. So that's one thing we always want to avoid, because your bullet points are usually the most important part of your description. We want to just move that up. You could even move it just below here. And then you can also remove the symbol right here. But back to the description, the best thing to have is 5 bullet points, not more, not less. And then after the bullet point, you also just want to give it a proper spacing like you did here. When you give it that space, it's easier to notice and see and nicer to look at. So that's the other thing I would change here. You do have a slight call to action here, but we could make that even stronger just by also asking them to buy the book now. So moving along, so you do have A+ content, which is great, but we're not showing that much A+ content. So here you have some bullet points, which is technically okay. And then here, I don't know if this is a interior page or not. It's a little bit hard to tell. This looks like it might be a page, and then this looks like it's a page. But the other thing I'm questioning here, if this is actually colored pages or black and white. I'm guessing just based on the price and the amount of pages that this is black and white and not color. So also if you are showing colored interior pages, but this book is black and white, this can also lead to a bad customer experience and lead to bad reviews. And then if you get bad reviews, you're obviously not going to get sales. So I would just reflect the truth a bit more, just so we're fully transparent and open about it. And good thing that you have a picture here. You could also crop that and zoom in a little bit more, because we do have a lot of wasted empty space here at the top, and then that would look nicer. So just a slight tip here, and you do have a good description, which is great, but then no reviews. So the other thing is you always want to get reviews. Amazon is getting more and more competitive. So one thing you can do is go to selfpublishingtitans.com and click on the Advanced Reader Copy service. This is a brand new service we launched recently, and this can help you get your first reviews. But you can also look at any other alternative, just whatever suits your needs the most. And that would be my feedback for you. So for anyone that's new here, if you're looking for free resources, training, and tools, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com/free. The link is also down below in the description of this video. And then here you can find resources, you can find free tools, and more free training. And then anyone else that wants to get a free book review by me, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com/review. The link is also down in the description, and then you can submit your book to me right here, and I would love to help you as well. And I make these videos every single day, so make sure to subscribe and come back tomorrow. All right, bye.